Hey everyone, Nexius here, bringing you guys and gals another Windwalker Monk PvP guide. For today's guide, I'm going to show you how to burst as a Windwalker Monk in Legion. Please note that this burst guide is not for the Legion pre-patch. This burst guide is intended for level 110 Windwalkers who have unlocked a large portion of their artifact talents. In Legion, our burst setup will be focused around Touch of Death, Rising Sun Kick, Fists of Fury, our artifact ability Strike of the Windlord, and depending on your talent choice, either Serenity or Whirling Dragon Punch with Storm, Earth, and Fire. Touch of Death received a complete redesign in Legion. It no longer has a health requirement and no longer instantly kills the target. In Legion, when we Touch of Death a target, it will apply a debuff that lasts 8 seconds. When the debuff ends, the target will take a large amount of damage. With the artifact talent Gale Burst, 10% of all damage we do during its countdown is going to be added into Touch of Death's damage. Because of this talent, our burst rotation will start with a Touch of Death, proceeding into our burst rotation in order to maximize this Gale Burst effect. With the artifact talent Transfer the Power, we can increase the damage of our Fists of Fury by 5%, stacking up to 10 times for a total of 50% increased damage. It is recommended we have 10 stacks before we try to burst in order to maximize the damage of our first Fists of Fury. Keep in mind that you do not need 10 stacks of Transfer the Power for every single Fist of Fury in PvP, since in most cases you will not be able to obtain 10 stacks before it comes off the cooldown. It is only important to have 10 stacks for the burst setup in order to maximize the Gale Burst potential. With the talent hit combo, we gain 2% increased in damage, stacking up to 8 times for a total of 16% increased damage. It is recommended we have 8 stacks of hit combo before we try to burst in order to maximize our burst damage, similar to the effects of Transfer the Power. The final piece of the puzzle of our burst rotation is choosing either Serenity or Whirling Dragon Punch. So now that we know what our monk burst is going to consist of and what we need to prepare in order to burst in the first place, it is time to see how we can put this burst together. Alright guys, let's get into the Serenity burst damage and the burst rotation. So Serenity can easily one-shot someone if they don't have a defensive cooldown up. So the whole goal here is to make sure they can't use one, that way you can one-shot them. So because of this, you want to open up with a leg sweep first. If you leg sweep first, not only will this prevent them from doing any kind of reaction unless they trinket, you will be able to do your full damage potential. So leg sweep first, then you want to Touch of Death next. The reason you want to Touch of Death next is because Touch of Death has a artifact passive where any damage we do while it's counting down to 0, 10% of that damage we dealt is added into Touch of Death's damage, so it's basically a 10% damage bonus. So you want to do everything into Touch of Death, so therefore you want to do Touch of Death first. So leg sweep first into Touch of Death, then you want to Rising Sun Kick first because it has a short cooldown. This will allow you to get a second one during Serenity, which is very important. So make sure you Rising Sun Kick first after Touch of Death, then you want to Strike of the Windlord, then you want to Fist of Fury. When Fist of Fury finishes, you should be able to Rising Sun Kick again immediately after, just before Serenity finishes. Now, if the target somehow lives this burst, you can actually go right back into it. So after that Rising Sun Kick at the end, you should be able to go between Black Oak Kick and Tiger Palm until Sun Kick comes right back up again. Because of Serenity, it's only like a 3 to 4 second cooldown, so it really doesn't take that long. So you'll get the next Rising Sun Kick into another Fist of Fury, and then you'll get another Rising Sun Kick into a final second Strike of the Windlord. So even though Serenity and Touch of Death only last 8 seconds, technically your burst window is about 20 to 25 seconds because of that second Strike of the Windlord. So let's take a look at this in gameplay here. So we're going to end up facing my friend here named Autoimmune. He's going to show us exactly what it looks like with this burst window if they were to survive. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I open up with a Touch of Death leg sweep into a Serenity Sun Kick into Strike of the Windlord, Fist of Fury. Then we get a Rising Sun Kick at the end there, just before Serenity finishes. Then we go into Black Oak Kick, Tiger Palm until everything's back up. We Rising Sun Kick when it comes back up, and then we get a Fist of Fury when it comes back up, and then eventually the last Strike of the Windlord and last Rising Sun Kick will come up, which you then want to use those. And that's basically your rotation right there. Now, one thing I want to point out in this gameplay is I actually did Touch of Death first before leg sweep. I do not recommend this. You can choose to do this if you prefer. The only problem though is that if you do this, there is 1 second there in between the Touch of Death and leg sweep that the opponent could use something like an ice block and screw you over. So in my opinion, I think it's best to just leg sweep first. The other thing too, if you Touch of Death first, is you have to waste 2 global cooldowns to use leg sweep, which wastes 2 seconds of Touch of Death damage because you had to leg sweep next. So leg sweeping first before Touch of Death is generally just the better choice. Alright guys, now that we have covered Serenity's burst rotation, let's take a look at Storm, Earth, and Fire. So if you are running Whirling Dragon Punch, or God forbid you are running Chi Orbit, which is a terrible talent, it works very differently from Serenity. First of all, Storm, Earth, and Fire does not remove the Chi cost of everything, so you will need to make sure you have the Chi for all of your abilities. Now, the best way you do this is by simply generating 4 Chi before you go into your burst. My favorite way to do this is, let's say I don't have 4 Chi, what I like to do is Tiger Palm into Crackling Jade Lightning into Tiger Palm. The reason why is because you don't want to ruin your hit combo. If you have 8 stacks of hit combo, that's 16% damage. So if you Tiger Palm twice, it removes it. So make sure you don't Tiger Palm twice in a row. If you have to get 2 Tiger Palms before your setup, that's how I recommend you do it. You Tiger Palm into Crackling Jade Lightning, quickly move to cancel the channeling effect, then you want to Tiger Palm the second time. This will keep your hit combo active, and it will also give you your 4 Chi. So once you have your 4 Chi, you then want to Storm, Earth, and Fire first. Storm, Earth, and Fire works in a really clunky, terrible way. The way Storm, Earth, and Fire works is when you activate it, it takes a second for your spirits to come out. After they come out, you have to press it again to make them single target. So make sure you press Storm, Earth, and Fire twice. So because it takes so much time to do that, it's really bad to do this after you like sweep and touch of death the target. So the way I recommend you do this rotation is you Storm, Earth, and Fire before everything. So generate 4 Chi in however you choose, Storm, Earth, and Fire, press it twice to make sure it's single target, then you can go into your burst window. So we have 4 Chi, so you want to leg sweep touch of death, spend 2 Chi on a rising sun kick, spend 2 Chi on a strike of the Windlord. Now you have 0 Chi, so you need to somehow generate 3 Chi for Fist of Fury. The best way to do this without wasting time is by activating Energizing Elixir to give you full Chi. Then you want to instantly Fist of Fury, because Energizing Elixir does not activate the global cooldown. So once you Energizing Elixir into Fist of Fury, you can then finish off with a Whirling Dragon Punch. Now, if you can do this properly, you should be able to get Whirling Dragon Punch in just before Touch of Death finishes. So let's go over that rotation again in the gameplay. Alright, so now let's take a look at what our rotation looks like in gameplay. So here we have my friend Autoimmune, who's playing a Resto Druid. I have him in bear form so you can see the damage, or well, you can see the whole rotation. The damage isn't really that big of a deal. The whole point here is to master the rotation. So let's take a look here. So you activate Storm, Earth, and Fire first. You want to sweep into Touch of Death, into a Rising Sun Kick Strike of the Windlord, Energizing Elixir, Fist of Fury instantly, and once that finishes channeling, you want to do your Whirling Dragon Punch. After that, you can Tiger Palm into a Sun Kick, and that's your burst rotation as Whirling Dragon Punch or Chi Orbit. Chi Orbit is a passive, so you simply just don't do anything regarding that. Alright, in case you were wondering, the test I just showed you guys where I did my burst rotation on Autoimmune without bear form, it one-shot him quite quickly. Same with Serenity, the test I did there a couple minutes ago where he wasn't in bear form, I one-shot him there without Touch of Death even going off. So even if he survived a little bit, he probably would have taken at least 10 to 20% health damage in Touch of Death damage. So that's pretty crazy. Just a few things to note also is that make sure you have your 8 stacks of hit combo whenever you are doing this burst setup. 16% damage to all abilities is huge. And then on top of that, you don't really have to worry about 10 stacks of Transfer the Power. Just try and build up as much as you can because it does take forever to get 10 stacks. So don't really worry about getting 10 stacks before burst. I did say that at the beginning of the video. What I meant to say is try to get 10 stacks, but it's not a big deal if you don't have it. It's not a huge difference, and it's probably not worth wasting the time building up to 10 stacks. One other thing as well is that if you guys are looking to generate Chi, I did give you guys a tip for Storm, Earth, and Fire where you want to do your Tiger Palm, Crackling Jade Lightning, Tiger Palm. Well, it doesn't really matter how you get your Chi, that's just how I try to do it. If I don't have enough, like if I have to get 2 Tiger Palms done, that's how I'll usually do it. If you only need 1 Tiger Palm, then just do 1 Tiger Palm. As long as you have 4 Chi before the setup, you should be fine. The other quick note about Chi as well is that when it comes to Serenity, I also try to make sure I have 4 Chi before Serenity, because when Serenity ends, everything costs Chi again, and as you saw in the rotation, you end up using Rising Sun Kick and Fist of Fury one more time after Serenity ends, and you also use Strike of the Windlord one more time at the very end. That's 6 Chi, so if you go in with 4 Chi, you'll be able to basically Rising Sun Kick, Tiger Palm, Fist of Fury, Tiger Palm Windlord, whereas otherwise you would probably have to do another Tiger Palm or two somewhere in there. So if you have the 4-Shi before activating Serenity, then you will be able to save time after Serenity's burst to push those abilities out again. So I'll leave that there. If you guys have any questions regarding Monk Burst, leave a comment down below. I'll try to answer it as best as I can, and I guess we'll just leave it there. Thanks guys for watching this video. I hope I helped you guys out, and of course try and spread the word. If you end up having some monk friends that need some help, here you go. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in Legion. See ya.